Changing your composition doesn't necessarily always mean chasing around, moving your feet all the time to produce different looks of the same subject. Here I'm going to try using different zoom levels on my phone to take interesting pictures of this nice wall of greenery that I have behind me. There are two ways that you can zoom on your camera phone. You can pinch to zoom, which is super convenient, particularly if you have a camera phone that doesn't have multiple physical lenses. Pinch to zoom works really well, it's super intuitive. The only problem that you might find is that as you zoom in using pinch to zoom, you might find that you're just using digital zoom on your phone, which is basically just exploding the pixels in your image, making them bigger, and you're going to lose fine detail. So optical zoom is always preferable. This camera phone has multiple different lenses that are going to produce very different looks of exactly the same frame without me having to move anywhere. So as I frame up here using my panoramic lens, the widest lens that's available to me, I get absolutely loads in the shot. It's not quite what I'm looking for, so I'm going to try the other lenses to punch in a bit and see if there's anything more interesting. 1x is the first lens, it's kind of the default lens that the phone always uses. Then I've got a 2x zoom and a 5x zoom, which although it produces lots of very fine detail, is a little bit much for me for this frame. What I'm really looking to produce is a kind of nice, rich, textured detail picture that could be used as a kind of a background on a phone or as an abstract or something like that. So we'll back that out to 2x, and this is really then just about finding a nice composition. I quite like these big bold leaves kind of creeping into the frame here, and so if I can find a composition that places them maybe just at where these rule of thirds lines kind of intersect to give us a cool looking composition, I think that that is a frame that looks pretty good. As ever, by shifting the phone just a very small amount in any direction, particularly when you're zoomed in like this, you can produce really different compositions. The key, as ever, is to shoot loads and loads of frames so that you can decide which one you like best later, which is exactly what I'm going to do now. So shooting this subject with lots of different lenses has produced, obviously, lots of different compositions for me to choose from. This frame here was shot on the phone's panoramic or wide-angle lens, and for me it's a bit too busy, there's a bit too much going on. I also really dislike this big area of overexposure here. The picture is just kind of neither one thing nor the other, and it doesn't have the sort of wallpaper effect quality that I really wanted. This frame is shot with the camera's 1x lens, or its default lens, the one that it always uses. It's a little bit more detailed, which is nice. I'm not a big fan of the composition. I quite like these different coloured leaves in here, but to me it looks like they're placed a little bit randomly in the frame, which isn't my favourite. It looks a little bit ill-considered. This frame, this ultra close-up, was shot with the camera's 5x lens, and again, it's just too much. There's a lot of detail in there. You can actually see these really cool bristles and these kind of felt-like surfaces on the leaves, which is nice. But again, if I'm shooting for a sort of abstract edge-to-edge detail frame, it just doesn't quite do the job for me. Compositionally, it's not what I'm after. This is actually my favourite shot on the camera's 2x lens, so a bit of punching in, but not absolutely loads. I really like the composition where these two kind of bigger, shiny, reflective leaves are just up in the top left-hand corner of the frame, and then there's lots of nice detail down towards the corner. It's got a kind of slightly moody effect to it, which is exactly what I was looking for. I really like the composition and the detail. I think it is the best of both worlds.